Hi, my name is Megan Larson. I'm a senior political science student at Carthage College, and I am a new fellow this semester. Um, and then my co-host will introduce herself as well.
Hi, I'm Kat. I am a senior as well, and I am on my second year at the Writing Center.
Woohoo. So really quickly, we're going to show you how to write a paper from start to finish. As I said before, we are part of the Brainard Writing Center at Carthage College.
So first of all, you should probably be asking yourself, why should I care? I know I'd be asking myself that. Well, here's the thing, and it's not just me saying this, but the majority of papers start out pretty shitty. Ernest Hemingway has been quoted saying this, as well as author Anne Lamott and Jane Jones, who has a PhD. But it also comes from a seminal piece of composition at a scholarship that I will link in the bottom. So this is not just me saying this. So basically, you should care because you don't want your writing to be shitty. So now we're going to get into how to not make shitty writing.
So this is a nice little graphic here on how to not have a shitty writing. Like we said before, though, all writing begins as a shitty piece of composition. It happens. It's okay. So really quickly, so this is a nice little graphic organizer that we will go into greater detail in the following slides. So as you can see, it's pre-writing, drafting, editing, and publishing. Very fun. Very cool.
So like Meg said, our first little bit of writing or getting into writing is pre-writing. So this is actually before you even start writing stuff down. Pretty much anything before you're getting into the actual writing qualifies as pre-writing. So if you want to pause the video here and come up with some ideas of what pre-writing might look like to you, this is a great time to do that. But here's what we have some examples of pre-writing to be. This could be just writing down some ideas, thinking in the shower or while you're going for a run, annotating or taking notes while you're reading, creating a mind map, talking over your ideas with a Writing Center fellow. It's even just taking notes in class or taking notes on the side of an article that you're reading in class. It's all that stuff where you're just getting into like, what could I be writing about?
Everything is pre-writing.
Pretty much.
So next up, we have the idea of drafting, and it's closely associated, of course, with pre-writing. So you take all of your ideas, as it says here in the little bubble here. So this would be a great time to also pause and say, what is drafting and what does that entail? So we'll give you some ideas here. So drafting is hard work. We will not deny that. So it's everything from moving paragraphs and deleting, adding ideas, adding different and additional evidence, explaining your evidence better, and also reworking your thesis. Sometimes you will have a thesis. When you start with your thesis, it will be completely different by the time you're finished with your paper. Don't ever be discouraged by that because drafting is all a part of the process.
Yeah, and this is also a great time to go and visit the Writing Center. And now onto our final stages. We have editing and publishing. So these are kind of it could be the longest part of your writing process, but it also could be the shortest depending on how you're doing this. But editing can be anywhere from going over your grammar and punctuation to making sure the overall paper actually matches what your prompt is supposed to be. And then of course you have publishing, which is actually finally turning a writing draft in. And that always feels good.
And as we've presented in these last few slides here, this is the writing process. And of course, it's subject to change, and every writer is different. You might have a different process than this, but this is just a nice little recommended series of steps that you can take to become a better writer. And we still use these as well in the Writing Center. This is how we do it, and we definitely recommend this type.
Yep, I know I'm someone who doesn't want to have shitty papers to turn in, so I go through this a lot.
Yes.
And just some questions to leave you off here. Some things that maybe you should be asking yourself while you're writing or before you're getting into an assignment. Is this something that the Writing Center could help me with? Is this, what part of the process am I in? What should I be focusing on right now? How do I make my paper as good as it possibly can be? So thank you. I'm Kat again, and here is my co-host.
I'm Meg. So Thank you so much for
And
listening.
thank you for listening. Yeah.
Also, check out the Writing Center on WC Online. Thank you.